Hey, thank you for joining me. My name's Emily. Today we're going to be doing a full-length mat Pilates class, working on utilizing the front and the back body in all exercises, not just in forward flexion where we use the front of the body or in back extension where we use the back. We're going to be using the front of the body in back extension and the back of the body in forward flexion, and then on side lying situations we'll talk about using our leg and sideline legs or leg that's flat on the mat. So we're going to go ahead and begin. Today in class we're using a box. If you do not have a box, a Pilates box, you can use a chair, a stool, a low stool, of course, more like an ottoman. If you have a chair that has the bottom rung, that would probably work. If it's anything with a sharp corner or something that will be uncomfortable for your legs or feet, go ahead and place a towel or a Pilates mat over it. We're going to go ahead and begin. I've used a futon with clients before. They place their feet on the futon since it's lower to the ground. We're going to go ahead, place your feet up on the futon, and grab behind your legs and articulate down to the mat slowly and with control. From there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm turning my feet out to a Pilates V. You can do this in parallel, but it'd be nice to turn it out into Pilates V so you get a fuller leg workout at this point. So, and I'm able to activate my glutes a little better in the Pilates V position, so my heels are together. My feet are gently pointed, but they're not in a forced point. I have above my ankle on the box. I'm about a third of the way up my calf on the edge of the box. I'm going to press down gently into the box of the back of my leg so I feel the back of my leg activate and squeeze my glutes without tucking or tilting my pelvis, so that I feel that back chain of the body activation. Whoop, adjust as you need to. From there, I'm going to locate a flat sacrum, which is the area for my tailbone to my two hip bones, so be flat on the mat. I have a slight curve or lift in my low back. My 12th rib is sinking into the mat, but without losing or diminishing that low curve. I have my shoulder blades flat and wide, and I can feel the base of my skull resting gently on the mat behind me. Coming up the front of my body, I'm still pressing into the box or whatever I'm using with the backs of my legs. You will definitely start to feel at this point. Please keep that squeeze. We want to activate it from the very beginning of class. I have a nice low, empty bowl feeling in my lower abdominal from hip to hip. I'm feeling a hollowing out from there. I'm dropping my belly to my spine, but I'm lifting my belly up at the same time. And my ribs are wrapping together on the front, really squeezing. I feel my rib muscles coming together and my ab muscles, as I pull them up, I feel them sliding almost underneath my belly button. I'm not arching up to get this. As I lift my belly button and I draw my ribs down so that they aren't flaring, it's naturally occurring. The sliding down of my ribs over my abdominals almost. I'm a nice wide collarbone in the front. As I wrap my ribs, I can round my shoulders in. My neck is nice and long and loose. I'm going to open my jaw and shut it a few times just to relax the front of my face. From there, leaving my hands down by my side, I'm going to begin to float them up. As I float them up, I'm going to keep a conscious contact, you would say, or I'm going to be closely looking at my ribs and my torso. I want to maintain this neutral spine. I'm going to begin to float my ribs back over my head. The load of my arms will make it harder to float my ribs over my head. I'm going to rest my arms behind me if I'm able to without flaring my ribs. From there, I'm going to imprint my spine, tuck my tail, and begin to articulate up off the mat, only coming to my mid-back. Ladies, this would be where your bra strap would come around the back, a bra or sports bra strap, or a gentleman if you're wearing a sports bra, or for people that are not wearing a sports bra, it would be the exact opposite of my body from where my rib and my 12th rib are on my back. I'm able to lift my head. I'm going to take a look down at my hips and make sure they're even. If they're not, whatever hip is lower, squeeze that glute a little stronger on that side to lift your hips. From there, I'm going to begin to articulate down. As I articulate down, I'm going to float my arms up and bring them back to the original, and I'm going to come to an imprinted spine first before I release into neutral. Bring your arms back to where you could without flaring your ribs. Inhale, lift your arms. first, as you float your arms, tuck your tail, and begin to lift up. My shoulder blades are staying flat this entire time. Inhale. Come down to an imprinted spine. And exhale, come into neutral. As my arms are moving, they're moving freely from the rest of my body. They're only rotating in the hip socket. It is a gentle shoulder warm-up. Inhale. And now we're going to exhale to tuck. And squeeze up and lift. Inhale at the top. And as you exhale, we get to tuck and articulate. Down, 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 down. Your tailbone should be the last thing to touch. I'm sorry, I forgot to raise my arms. I'm still in an imprinted spine, and then I release to neutral. Inhale, exhale to imprint. Tuck your tail. And squeeze it up. Go ahead and take a look down at your hips. Inhale, exhale, begin to roll down your spine. Think of your spine as a string of pearls that you're laying down and picking up. Inhale, exhale, imprint your strand of pearls. Begin to pick it up from the bottom of the tailbone and slowly lift up pearl by pearl. Each pearl is a vertebra, and you're lifting all the way up to your mid-back still. Do not rise any higher than mid-back. This is a warm-up. And begin to lay your strand of pearls back, down, the back. Now from there, we're going to circle our arms wide by our sides, palms up to the ceiling, and flip our palms down to reach down towards our box chair, whatever you're using. Squeeze your heels together, re-press into the box, re-establish that hollow feeling in your lower abdominals, wrap your ribs. Inhale, exhale, we're going to curl up over that same area. We're going to lift up over our sternum, but on the front. Inhale, exhale to lift. While we're lifting, we're still pressing into the box. So we're still activating the back of our body. And now we're going to lay it back down. I'm sorry. Inhale, exhale, lift. Creasing up over my sternum. I have a nice long neck. I have space between my chin and my chest. I'm reaching strongly for the box. Hollowing out my lower abdominal, pressing into the box for the back of the body again. And lower. Just like when we articulated up, we were wrapping our ribs, making sure that we weren't moving them when we lifted our arms back and forward. So we're working the front of our body as we work the back. Inhale, exhale to lift, reach strong, press into the box. And down. And exhale, lift, press. And lower. Let's do two more. And lower. And one more, and then we're going to alternate. Press into the box. I'm feeling a shake right now. I hope you are too. And lower. Still pressing into the box. I'm feeling the wear in my glutes at this point. I'm going to float my arms up over my head, wrapping my ribs. Exhale to lift. Squeezing it up. Take a look at your hips. Make sure they're even. Can you squeeze your glutes a little higher? Staying on your sternum, the area right behind your sternum. You raise your hips by squeezing your glutes, not by rolling onto your neck. Begin to articulate down, leaving your hands down by your side, but hovering them off that. Exhale to reach for the box. Dropping your lower abdominals and articulate down. Raise your arms over your head. Watch your ribs. Inhale. Exhale to lift. Squeeze it up. Wrap your ribs. Hollow out your abdominals. And down. Hover your hands by your side. And crease up over your sternum. Reaching for the box. Lower. Reach over your head. Watch your ribs. Inhale. Exhale to reach up. Squeezing your hips and glutes. Articulate down. Placing your strand of pearls down. Come back to a neutral spine. Hover your hands. And crease over your sternum. Lower. Hands over your head. Watch your wrist. Inhale. Exhale to articulate up. Pressing your shoulder blades flat into the mat. Articulate down. Come to neutral. Hover your hands. Exhale to curl up and down. Inhale the arms over the head. And exhale to articulate and up. Look at your hips. We have three more. And begin to place your strand of pearls down. Imprint your spine first. Come to neutral with this flat sacrum. Hover your hands. Exhale to lift. Sliding your ribs over your abdominals to lift. Reaching your ribs to your hips. And down. Hands over your head. Exhale to reach your arms down by your side and to articulate up. Squeezing your glutes. Still pressing into the box. Articulate down. Inhale. Exhale to reach for the box. Sliding your ribs towards your hips. Allowing your abdominals to slide under your ribs. Down. Reach over your head. And exhale. Tuck and lift. Whoop. Went up a little too high that time. Make sure you don't do the same thing too. It's easy to do. Articulate down, 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 down. Neutral spine. Hover your hands. And chest lift. And lower. Let's do one more because I lost count just for fun. Inhale. Exhale and lift. Take a look at your hips. And lower. Articulate down. Going through imprint to neutral spine. Hover your hands. Don't flare your ribs like I just did. Crease up. And come down. From there, we are going to lift our right leg into the ceiling. We're going to do just a lift with our body. We're not going to articulate any longer. So, as I lift, I'm going to reach my left arm up over my head. And then I'm going to come back down. Everything should touch at the same time. And lift. Coming to mid-back, still take a look up at your hips. Are they even? And lower. Here's 3. Pressing strongly into the box for stability. Really wearing out the back of that leg. Or activating it for class, I should say. Here's 5. And 6. Ribs together. And bring your leg down. And dropping into your abdominals to float your other leg up with control. Pressing in through the back of the box. And we're going to press up, lifting our right arm overhead. Coming only up to our mid-back. Take a look at your hips. Lower. And bring your arm over and lower your body. And lift everything at once. Squeezing up. And lower. Everything should touch at the same time. And 3. And lower. Flat shoulder blades. 4. Nice long neck. Here's 5. And here is 6. Place your foot back down. We're not releasing our press on the box just yet. We're going to float our hands up to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale to curl, reaching strongly for our toes. Pressing into the box. Hands are floating above our hips. Nice long neck. Begin pumping for the hundreds on the inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a look down. Are you squeezing your legs? Squeezing your heels. Crease up, drawing your ribs to your hips a little bit deeper. Pulling out your lower abdominals. And now begin to float your leg up without rocking on the backs of your hips. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Floating your leg down. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And left leg. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Curl up deeper. And lower, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right leg lift. 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not lifting it very high. A foot off the box. And left leg. 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And lower. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Curl up deeper. Draw your abdominals in. Final 10. And inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep the press. Begin to articulate down. Lift your hands up to the ceiling. Drag your knees into your chest for a nice hug. Articulate your feet. Pointing and flexing. Pressing through the toes so you get a full foot articulation. So when you press out from flex, your toes are still pulling back. And then you release your toes to point. Then when you pull back to flex, you flex your toes. And then you flex your whole foot. Press out your foot, toes pull back. Release your toes. Press back just your toes to flex and pull it back. Now, place your feet back on the box. We are going to place our hands behind our head. Our elbows are going to be hovering off the mat. Our shoulder blades are still flat and wide. Go ahead and locate your ribs. Draw them in together. I myself have been having tiny micro flares in my ribs. Sometimes not so micro lately. And it's becoming a real problem for me. So we're going to really focus on our ribs. We're going to draw our abdominals up and under our ribs. Draw our ribs together. And when we curl up, we're going to feel our ribs slide over our abdominals even further. We're going to use our abdominals, anchoring through our back hip bones to float our foot up just an inch or two and pull it in and press it out and tap and lift. Pull in, press out, curl up deeper, lift, pull in, press out and tap. Reestablish your neutral spine. Make sure you're stable through relax both hip bones. Lift your left foot up 2 or 3 inches and pull in and extend and tap and float. It's just a tap, just like we would do for a toe tap in a warm-up. And tap and lift and pull and lift and tap. And now right foot flows up and pulls in and extends and goes down. And now left foot and pull and extend. You have to maintain a neutral body and not shift your weight from one side to the other to be truly successful at this exercise. We're maintaining a completely stable body while we press into the backs of our legs so we feel our forward flexion and the back chain of our body. And exhale to lower. From there, we're going to float our fingertips up. If you need to leave your head down for this next exercise, because we've done a lot of forward flexion, please feel free to, or feel free to lower your head, take a rest, and raise it at any time you're able to. Inhale, exhale to curl up. We're going to raise our hands up. Float your legs up. Bring your arms and legs out, and bring them in. Holding onto your knees in a true tabletop position. That means your thighs and your body are at a 90-degree position, and your thighs and your calves are at a 90-degree position. Now press out. Tap your feet. Reach everything around in a circle and pull it back in. Don't pull your legs out so far that you have trouble pulling back into a 90-degree position. For example, I'll show you. Press it out, not losing your curl. Tap. Don't go like this. So your body's shifting. You want to control it, and then you just want to bend your knees into the 90 degrees. Total control. Curl up a little deeper. We're only halfway there. And press, tap, circle, and in. Squeeze with the back of my body. Press, tap, flow deeper. Squeeze my legs together and press. Draw your knees into your chest. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. From there, we'll extend our legs up to the ceiling. Hands long behind your head, thumbs long down your neck, and curl up. Abdominals pulling up and in, and squeeze the back of our legs, squeezing them together, drawing everything to the midline or the center of our body. We're going to drop our right leg and pulse, pulse into the box and lift. Don't lift your hips. The backs of your hips are into this. Curl up deeper and left leg, pulse, pulse, and lift. And right leg, press if that helps you and lift. Curl up deeper. Left leg, press, curl up from, lift it from your abdominals. Lower, press, lift, lower, press, lift, and lower, press, lift, curl up deeper. Make sure that you're not crushing your chin to your chest. Press, lift one more on each side. Reach your foot long, shooting energy out of your toes. Reach it long over your rest, press, lift. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Draw your knees into your chest. From here, you're going to raise your feet up to the ceiling. Bring your arms out to a wide T. When you do that, don't allow your ribs to flare. We're just getting a nice pec and shoulder stretch while we do this next exercise. It will be a bit more of a challenge on our abdominals. Maintaining our neutral spine when we begin to drop. Don't allow your back to arch off of your mat. We're going to drop 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. Circle your feet around and up, maintaining the same neutral spine the whole time, so don't tuck it to lift it. And we drop 1, 2, 3, and circle. And lift it up to the ceiling. And nice long neck. And lift. And now we're going to reverse. We're going to inhale, circling our legs out, bringing them together, and lift up 1, 2, 3. What are your ribs doing? Sink your back ribs into the mat. Inhale. And now exhale, lift 1, 2, 3. Final one, make it your best one. Inhale. Really maintain that neutral spine and lift 1, 2, 3. From there, with control, float your legs down to the mat. Press into the mat. We've had some relief from this. So now we're going to reestablish our neutral sacrum, the slight lift in our low back, our 12 ribs are mounting on, shoulder blades flat down the mat. Thumbs long down your neck. Inhale, exhale to curl up. Bring your right leg up and twist your body towards it, but press that back hip down into the mat, keeping the same curl, and tap and twist. Don't lose your curl up. You're not curling up on the side. You're maintaining it. You're just twisting. Let's do one more. Reestablish, come back up. Just like on the first exercise we did in this series. We're not rocking off of our hips. The hard part is in maintaining the body. And now we're going to alternate, and here's right and lower, and left and lower, and exhale. Curl up deeper. Press into the box. I lost count. We're going to do one more on each side. And lower, and lower. Slowly. Rest your head down on the mat. Float your legs up together and draw them into your chest. Whew. What a way to start class, right? From there, I'm going to scoot back so that I don't hit my box. Articulate up. I'm going to move my box to the side for the time being. From there, I'm going to go ahead and locate my ring. I'm going to reach my legs long. If you have tight hamstrings, tight low back, hip problems, go ahead and pop your knees. To activate the back chain of your body here, you're going to press your heels into the mat and then pull them without actually moving them to engage all the way up the back of your leg down the mat, and you're going to squeeze your glutes. Also, drawing up on your lower abdominals, draw your ribs over your abs, right? That is the activation for tight hamstrings, tight low back, hip problems. If you are stretching out straight, we're going to press our legs into the mat, pressing down as if we're lifting ourselves or willing ourselves to grow taller, squeezing our glutes. Here, now I'm just sitting on my leg loose, and now here, you can touch, squeeze my glutes to lift myself up higher. We're going to do a round back exercise, working on our articulation in the front and the back, of course, really refining it in the front. My ring, the pad, the center of the pad, is right in the center, is right where my sternum and my 12th rib meet. So the bottom of my pad is right where, I guess, the curtain of my ribs would fall away, and the top of my pad is right in the center. I don't want it up too high because when I push down on it, I don't want my shoulders to pop up. But it's right here, and you press in on it. You're pressing down, and press down. Practice this a few times. Inhale, exhale, press down. Feeling the engagement under your arm, down your ribs. Pulling your shoulders. Now don't roll in on it to press it down. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And allow rolling your shoulders up, back, and down. And a gentle pull outside your elbows, making your elbows wide. Allow that to pull your shoulder blades down your back and to pull the ring into more of an oval shape to your chest. This is not a contest to see who can crunch the oval to their chest the most, because you're going to have some difficulty with the next exercise. So, as we're discussing, we're going to stretch our legs long, press down in through our heels for everyone, or the backs of our legs, squeeze in on our glutes, place our ring, draw our ribs in, wrapping them together, drawing our abdominals up and in, shoulders down your back, placing my nose on the ring. I'm going to then begin to roll my ring down my body to my thighs. My entire body is connected to the ring right now. We are going to use this for articulation. I'm going to inhale, exhale, to begin to pull my ring off my body, starting at my thighs. It'll pull off my thighs, it'll pull off my pelvis. I'm going to stop right here. My legs are still heavy on the mat. My abdominals are still pulled in. I'm not pooching them. If you find that you've pooched your belly here, that's not a problem. Some days you can make it down lower than others. What we're going to do is we're just going to come up an inch. Exhale, reestablish. Dropping our lower abdominals hip to hip, hollowing out our belly. From here, we're going to begin to articulate up by placing the ring on our body, a little bit at a time. If you find that the ring misses your lower abdominals, you are flexing into your hip flexors most likely. The way to solve this is to not go back as far and to maintain connection with your lower abdominals and really get the squeeze out of them. Really squeeze the juice out of this exercise. Inhale, exhale, dropping my belly, my spine, abs down, pull back. My nose is still connected. When you feel your heels start to come light, stop. Pull down. Pull down, pull down, pull down. Like a roly-poly. You're rolling back like a roly-poly. Drawing your abdominals to your spine. Maintaining a nice even curve. And exhale to lift. Let's do 2 more. Squeeze it back up and in. If you lost it, I know I did. Pull it back. Squeezing my inner thighs, squeezing my heels, pressing my legs into the mat. And back up. And pull back. And articulate forward. Don't lose the connection of the ring to your body. From there, I'm going to release my ring. Come into a forward hinge position. Squeeze up on my glutes, squeeze my inner thighs, bring my biceps by my ears, wrap my ribs and draw my abdominals up and in, under my ribs. We're getting a nice hamstring stretcher, and we're releasing in our hip flexors. My trainer Katie Alley taught me that. I'm going to place my thumbs on the inside of my ring, pull them apart, slight bend in my elbows, dropping my shoulders down my back, feeling them become flat and wide. From there, I'm going to lift up as if I'm between 2 panes of glass. I'm going to lean back, growing taller. Don't allow yourself to sink in a C-shaped curve. Squeeze your glutes even tighter to lift up and hinge forward, reaching the ring for where the wall and the ceiling meet. I'm going to lift up. Some days you can go back further than others. Some days you cannot, and that's fine. We don't have any strap holding our feet here. So if you're like, on the short box of the reformer, I can go way further than I can here. Of course you can. You have the strap helping to hold your legs down so that you have the ability to go back even further. We're going to squeeze it up. Wrap our ribs, draw our abdominals up and in. Reach, reach, reach up. It's like a halo overhead. Reach our halo up. Pull it apart. Slight bend in your elbows. And reach up. And reach forward. Again, I lost count. We are going to do 3 more. And we're going to reach up. Today is not a counting day for me. I am sorry. And reach up and forward. Inhale. Exhale to reach it up. Wrap your ribs. Nice leg. Lace right shoulder blades. Nice long neck. Abs up and in. And lift. And hinge forward. I am shaking. I am sweating. I hope you are too. Reach up. Squeeze in on your glutes. Shoulders down your back. And press back. You got this, guys. And squeeze your glutes and lift up. And hinge forward and fold over your legs, releasing your ring for a moment. Enjoy the stretch forward, folding over your hamstring. A nice release. Locate your ring. We're going to lift it up. We're going to get a little even wider bend in our elbows so we can give a little pulse. Up over your head again like a halo. Drawing into your ribs. We're leaning less. We're at less of a hinge, but at a slight hinge, so we're not back like this. In our hip flexors. So we're just out a little bit, squeezing into the backs of our legs, squeezing our glutes. Moving from our side, I don't want to see this. I want to see this. Do you notice the difference? There's this. Where you pop your ribs out on the side. And then there's a reach up and over. We are reaching up and over towards where the wall and the ceiling meet again to get a nice side bend, stretching on both sides. Heel up, ribs in. And reach, pressing down with our opposite hip. Reach further. Now squeeze and sit straight up. Reach over to the left. Pressing down with your opposite hip. Squeeze and float it up. Release your squeeze. Go to the right. Press down and squeeze and lift. And the left. And squeeze and lift. 1 more on each side. And 1 more to the left. And squeeze. Drop your arms. Place the ring back over your sternum like we had it earlier. Press in on it gently. Press down on your legs. Squeeze up on your glutes. Drop down on your shoulder blades. Press in ever so gently. Draw your abdominals up and in under your ribs. Leaving both hips granted. We're going to twist to the right and come back through center. And twist over to the left. Not moving our hips, the backs of our hips. Moving our ribs across our body for a nice oblique twist. And keep twisting to the left. Feel yourself growing taller on the twist. And inhale through center. And exhale to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale through center. Hinge forward just a little bit to release your hip flexors. One more time to each side. And release. And to the left. And release. From there, we're going to do a little bit of a twist with some articulation. So, I'm going to twist to the right, growing taller. I'm going to tuck my tail, come back, come back, come back. And then I'm going to articulate back up on the twist. Both my hips are still firmly grounded. Come through center, twist to the left, tuck my tail, dropping my belly to my spine. Articulate down. I'm not touching my nose to my ring here. I will feel it as I begin to tuck, coming down the lower half of my body, but I'm not articulating the top half. And through center, and to left, and drop your abdomen. Ooh, don't flare your side, drop your abdominals, and then tuck your tail. Woo! I told you that rib flare is serious. And come up, and through center, to the right, and tuck, and come back. Recheck your hips. We've been doing this for a while now. And so don't start to pop in to the muscles that are not fatigued. Hip flexors, quads, hopefully are less fatigued. Take your ring, place it to the side. We're going to bring our arms in the closed hug a tree position. So when you hug a tree, we're right here. Belly first perhaps, belly positions. We're going to be hinged forward slightly. We're going to do an around the world situation. So we're going to reach, hinging forward. We're going to sit up and articulate to the right. We're going to tuck back. Now we're going to come through center. We haven't felt any movement on our hips because we're not moving. We're going to twist to the left. Articulate up to the left. Hinge forward and come back through center. And now as we twist, we begin to come up. When we come straight up, then we tuck our tail to begin to articulate. Down the left, through the center, to the right. Begin to articulate up. When you come right here, begin to bring your arms forward. And through center, in the front hinge. Begin to twist and come up to sitting. Tuck your tail to the right, roll down. Through center, to the left. Articulate up. When you get up to sitting on the left, begin to untwist and hinge forward. And a flat back hinge to the front. We're going to twist to the left, sit up tall. Then tuck my tail when I'm sitting up straight. Articulate down the left side, come through center, to the right. Articulate up, and through center. Now that we have the choreography down, we're going to continue one on each side, talking about various things we might be missing. Draw your ribs in, draw your abdominals up and in. Shoulders down your back, sit up and twist. Drop that back hip, tuck your tail, drawing your abdominals up, bringing your ribs towards your hips. And through center, drop your shoulders here. Nice long neck to the left. Articulate up, dropping your belly. Begin to untwist and hinge forward, flat back. Ribs are still in. Twist to the left, sitting up tall. Tuck your tail, articulate down the left side. Come through center, to the right. Draw your abdominals up and in, wrap your ribs. Tuck your tail and lift up to sitting. Come to the front. Hinge forward over your legs for a nice hamstring stretch. That was a difficult exercise. We're going to be moving on to one of my favorite Pilates exercises on any apparatus. It is the tree. I'll be swinging forward ever so slightly. For those of you with tight hamstrings, tight low backs, hip problems, please do the tree with a bent knee, pressing in, pulling it towards you. You're going to work from here the whole time, bent knee tree. For those of you who can, you can hold on anywhere that you can. above your knee, or if you need to hold on here, on your thigh, hold it anywhere in your leg if you can do a straight leg tree. For some people, the load of the leg is too heavy. Bent knee tree is where we'll modify to. Otherwise, we are going to ground our left leg, press into it. We're going to be grounding through both of our back hip bones, but we are going to make sure that we are engaging the back of our left leg. From there, I'm going to sit up as tall as I can, holding on behind my thigh, behind my knee, bent leg in, wide elbow, shoulder blades direct, nice tall stance, nice long neck. And I'm going to extend my leg from the knee and bend it. And extend, press down through that leg and bend. One more. And now we're going to do the same articulation we did in the beginning. Toes and foot and toes. Toes, foot, foot, toes, toes, foot, foot, toes. 3 ankle circles. 1, 2, 3, and reverse in 1, 2, 3. Walk your hands up to wherever you can. Reestablish your hips. Pull, widening your elbows. 1, 2, but drawing your shoulders down your back. And 3, tuck your tail. Begin to come back. When you've gone back as far as you can, walking legs, begin to walk down your leg. Press your leg into your hand for support. Come down. Establish nice wide shoulder blades. Wrap your ribs. Light fingertips on the back of your legs. Exhale. Crease them over your sternum and pull up to sitting. When you get up to the top, pull your leg into your body with wide elbows. Tuck your tail and begin to walk down your leg. Place your hands down by your side again. We are going to bring our leg to the outside of our body, away from the midline, ground through the opposite hip of the standing leg. Come back up. And we are going to float our leg over across our body, raising our hips slightly, leaving all 12 ribs sinking into the mat, and back to center. And away from the body on a tick-tock. Exhale back to center, and float your leg across the body. And back up. One more. Float your leg away. Don't float it so far away that you can't maintain your body position. You want to keep both hips grounded as your leg floats away. As your leg floats across, you can lift it for the IT band stretch. And back through center. Reestablish your hip bone connections. Place your hands behind your legs gently. Curl up. Oh my gosh. Oof. Heavy exhale to lift if you need it. And we're going to pull our hands in. Wide elbows. Tuck our tail. Begin to walk back again. Place your hands down. Wrap your ribs. Stabilize your sacrum. Small circles the size of a bender ball. Across the body. And exhale to lift. And across. And lift. And across. And lift. Reverse and inhale. And exhale across the body. And inhale. Exhale across. And inhale. Exhale across. Fingertips laid on your thighs. Inhale. Exhale. Sit up tall. Pull your leg one more time. Release. Float your hands out to the side. Float your leg down to the mat with control. From there, we're going to do the other side. As you saw, sometimes it's hard to get up. Come down a couple inches. Exhale strongly and see if you can help your abdominals to roll back up again. We are going to establish our connection on our right leg, pressing into the mat, pressing both hip bones into the mat. For those of us with hip, back, hamstring problems, press in, pull it in with your hamstring. Bend your elbows wide, and we're going to extend our leg and bend, and extend, and bend, and here's 3. And now pull back the toes and foot. Extend foot, extend toes. Toes, foot, foot, toes. One more. And now ankle circles. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Walk your hand wherever you would like on your leg. Reestablish your hip connection and pull in with wide elbows. 1 and 2 and 3. Tuck your tail. Begin to walk back, walking your hand down your leg. Woo. This side is definitely not as strong as my other side. I'm going to place my hands down. Widen my shoulder blades, widen my collarbone. Place my hands behind my, press my leg into my hands. And lift. Again, this is not as easy as it is on the box because you do not have the strap holding your foot. Widen your elbows, tuck your tail. Draw your ribs to your ribs. Hollow out your lower abdominals and articulate down to the mat. From here, we're going to do the tick-tock away from the body, pressing this hip down, pressing through the leg, and back up, and across the body. Floating my hip, leaving my 12 ribs down, and squeeze it back up, and away, and up. And inhale away across the body, and exhale it back up. One more, inhale your leg away from the midline. Inhale your leg across the midline, and exhale back up. This is the one that was hard for me last time. Let's see how I do it this time. Light fingers behind your legs, crease up over your shoulder. Exhale to lift. Pull your leg in, release, tuck your tail, and walk your hands down your leg. Place your hands by your side. Inhale across the body and exhale up. Press in through the grounding leg. Wrap your ribs. And reverse inhale. And exhale up. Inhale. One more. Stop. Light fingers on your leg. Crease up over your sternum. Oh my gosh. Let's do it. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Oh, good job. Pull it in, wide elbows. Sit up tall. Float your hands off. Allow your leg to maintain there. You will feel in your quad. Float your leg down. Bring your legs into a butterfly, a wide butterfly stretch position. Fold over your legs if you'd like. Place your hands underneath. Reaching for the outside of your feet to increase the stretch. Take a couple deep breaths here. We're going to be moving on to a few more long box exercises. From here, we're going to roll over onto our stomachs. We're going to place our hands underneath our shoulders. We're going to squeeze our legs together. We're going to be pressing our bones gently into the mat, drawing our abdominals up and down, lifting our belly button off the mat, and wrapping our ribs here. From here, we're going to hover swan. So we're not going to be pressing up into swan track. We're going to make our arms light. We're going to inhale to hover up, pressing our back legs into the mat, engaging our inner thighs, drawing our abdominals up and in, and lower down. I feel the front of my body as I wrap my ribs, draw my belly button up and in. I feel the back of my body as I squeeze my legs, and I feel my back extensor muscles. Inhale, pulling down, engaging my lats, and exhale down. So I feel the sides of my body as well. Inhale up, exhale down. We're going to add on a tricep movement. It's going to be, we're going to be hovering up, so inhale, hover up, and then just squeeze your elbows up and back, and come back. Slide your hands back underneath your shoulders, and squeeze up and back. Abs head and in, and squeeze. Really drawing your arms to your biceps, squeezing your elbows up higher, and away from your shoulders. Drawing your shoulders away from your ears, with your triceps, and 8, and exhale to lower. We're doing one more exercise. Inhale, exhale, up and lift. Arms out to a T, my palms are facing down. I'm going to slide my hands down towards my hips, pinky blade edge towards my hips, pulling my fingers strongly towards my feet, and to a T, and back, to a T. Keep going. Press your hip bones in. Squeeze your inner thighs. Draw your abdominals up and in. Nice long neck, looking at the mat. Don't forget to breathe. 2 more. Press your legs in. And 8. Draw your hands back to the hover swan position. Press back. Press back into a child's pose position for a counter stretch. From there, I'm going to take my left hand and thread it underneath my right arm and my right knee, reaching for that side of my body, allowing my shoulder to reach for the mat. I'm going to come back through center, reestablish my child's pose, lift my right hand and reach out between my left arm and my left knee, reaching my right shoulder for the mat. If one reaches, that's great. Both reach, that's great. If none reach, You know, that's great too. From there, I'm going to come back to the center. I'm going to lift up out of my fingertips, walk myself back, articulating my spine up ahead. Comes up last. From there, I'm going to roll over onto my back. Hold on to my knees. Articulate my spine down to the mat. Ooh, I saw my little crease. I did not like that. I'm going to drop my knees up to tabletop. Reach my fingertips up towards the ceiling. Float them back if I'm able to without popping my ribs. Circle my arms wide. Hold on behind my knees. And come up into a modified teaser position. Tuck my tail. Articulate back. Release my hands up and over my head. Wrapping my ribs. Drawing my abdominals up and in. Circling my arms. Not grabbing onto my legs unless I need to. And coming up here. Reaching my arms in front of me. Shoulders down my back. Nice wide collarbone. For those who would like to, you can see where we're going here. We're going to be adding on. Go ahead and articulate down. You can do either of those two. Extend your legs long. Either of those two modified teasers to continue if you'd like. If you'd like to move on, here we go. Wrapping your ribs. Circling your arms. Creasing up over your sternum. Floating your legs up with your abdominals. Reach towards your toes. Nice wide collarbone. Squeezing the back of my leg to engage on the back of my leg. Dropping my abdominals. Wrapping my ribs. Shoulders down your back. Tuck your tail. Don't move your feet yet. Tuck your tail, tuck your tail, tuck your tail. And now begin to flow your arms, your head, and your feet down. Everything should touch at once. Circling your arms to the inhale. Exhale to come up. Now circling your arms out away from your body. 1 and 2. Lift up higher in your chest in 3. And reverse. 1 and 2 and 3. Tuck your tail. When you get to your mid-back, begin to lower everything else down. Inhale, circling your arms. As you crease up, when you start to lift up from your mid-back, float your legs up too. If you're here and like, oh my God, my quads, squeeze your heels. Bring your legs into a wide diamond. Otherwise, lower your legs an inch. Exhale, lift. Inhale and exhale. Nothing should move in your upper body. Tuck your tail. Ooh. It's getting a little dicey. Squeeze your glutes for help. When you get to your mid-back that we've been working on this whole time, the area behind where your sternum, your 12th rib meet, begin to bring your arms, heads, and legs down all together. I'm going to bring my arms down on my side. Begin to curl up. I'm going to walk my elbows back. Drop my lower abdominals down. My shoulders are away. I'm pressing up so I'm not sinking. Pressing up, up, up. For those of you who would like a different position, you may come up onto bent elbows. Behind you, it is a little bit more stretchy on the fronts of your shoulders. From there, we're going to float our legs up to teaser position. Lifting up out of our chest. We're going to bring our legs down. These are leg circles. I consider them like ovals. I'm trying to swipe my feet at the bottom and lift them back up to teaser. My hips, while they will move ever so slightly, should not really be moving. I'm trying to only move from my legs. You might feel a little bit of movement as your glutes come around. This is a different body position corkscrew. Let's consider it. So I'm circling and my legs are pressing against each other. Corkscrew 1 and down, abs up and in, ribs together and in. Draw your knees in, place them on the mat, press yourself up. Go ahead and open up to a butterfly. Fold back over your legs. That's a lot of work. Bring your hands through your legs again if you'd like. Threading them to the outside of your feet. Folding over. Don't allow your stomach to dump out here. Still draw it up and in. We'd still like a uniform curve of our spine, so don't crunch your chin to your chest here. Unlace your hands. And articulate up. To sitting. From there, we're going to be moving on to side lying legs. We're going to go ahead and drop our side. We are working on engaging the side of our body closest to the mat. You can do that up on your elbow, but today I'm going to be working from the mat so that I can really press into the mat with my body. I'm going to make my elbow into a pillow, press into my hip. I have a lift in my abdominals. I've stacked my hips. If I'm going to bend my hips, I have my box my body in a straight line. I've brought my feet out in front of me wherever I need to for support. Reach energy out of your hips so you're not sinking in and your hips aren't like this. You want to whoop, pull it up and in. Bring your foot up to hip height. Kickstand your hand in front of you for support. Press in through your leg from your hip all the way down to your foot for support. Now kick your foot forward and engage the back of your leg as you start to move. Hamstrings, glutes are pulling your leg back. You're not just swinging it back willy-nilly. And point it front. And exhale to pull back. Abdominals in. Ribs coming down your body. Here's 4. Shoulders down. We have 5. Your hips are probably not as wide as you think they are. If you're up here, your hips are not that wide probably. So let's go ahead and drop our legs if we need to. And here is 8. Squeeze your glutes and hamstrings. Ready? Pull it back. Stack your feet. Turn them out. Shoot energy out of your top leg. Float it up. Press down through your leg to support the lift. And increase. Lift up through your side. And 3. If you can, float your hip up. See if your glutes are working. Here's 5. Press in all the way from the hip down to the leg. 6, 7. Lift up and 8. Draw your shoulders down. Abs up and in. Wrap your ribs. We've been working our glutes enough to where we should be able to find, if your circles are like this, too big. I want the very tiny, only originating from the glute muscle. So using your glute, twitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You'll know when you've hit just the glute muscle. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's coming from where the glute and the thigh meet. I'm going to press up onto my side, swing my legs around, come down onto the other side with control. Make my arm into a pillow. I'm going to lift up out of my side, flex my feet, press in through my legs from my hip all the way down. Press energy out of my top heel. Draw my abs up and in. Make sure I'm not rocking back. Place my hand down for a kickstand. Float my leg up to working level. Point it forward. Flex it. As I pull it back, I engage my hamstrings and glutes so my hips don't pop back to get my leg back. And press it forward. If you find that you're in mat class, you're like, oh no, why does my low back or sciatica hurt so bad today? You've been rocking and rolling in your sideline legs. Pull your ribs in. Pull your abdominals up and in. As your ribs slide down, your abdominals slide up under them, sorry. Here's 8. And press and squeeze. Energy out, so you're stacking your hips. 9. And here is 10. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And now, turn your feet out, point them. Reestablish that connection from your hip down to your feet, pressing into the mat. Stacking your hips, shooting energy out of the top leg, lifting it up, and kick up, and down 1. And point, and flex. Here's 3. 4. While you're here, go ahead and place your hand where your glute and your hamstring meet, if you're able to. That's where your circles are coming from. 8. Here's 9. And squeeze your abdominals up and in and lift. And 10. Now point your foot, hover up to hip height, locate where the glute and the hamstring are. Can you pulse there real fast? Great. And now tiny circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reverse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job, guys. From here, we are going to come down onto our stomachs. We're going to be in the same position that we were in for the hover swan position. We're going to be getting ready to do swimming. We're going to make our hands into a pillow. We're going to rest our forehead on our pillow. Draw our shoulders away from our ears. From here, I'm going to lift up slightly, wrap my ribs, draw my abdominals up and in. Press my hip bones gently into the mat. My knees are wider, but I'm trying to draw them together for my inner thigh while maintaining my body position I just established. I flex my feet. I'm squeezing my heels together in a frog position. From here, I'm going to go ahead, take a deep breath, exhale, and I'm going to float my upper body up. Still looking down. not too far, and down. And I'm going to lift, throwing my shoulders down my back, and down. Let's do one more. And I'm going to lower. From there, I'm going to engage my hamstrings and my glutes and my inner thighs ever so slightly, not to lift my legs, but to make them light on the mat. When I do that, I'm not cranking up into my upper body. This is just lower body work. And from here, I'm going to pulse my feet up, stamping them on the ceiling and lowering them. And I'm going to stamp and lower. Your upper body has nothing to do with it. And stamp and lower. And now let's alternate. Let's have our upper body and lower. Let's stamp our lower body. The feet to the ceiling and lower. Hovering upper body and lower. And stamping our feet and lowering. One more. Upper body and lower. Grab ribs. Lower body and lower. Extend your feet, bringing your knees closer together. Reestablish your ribs, your lower abdominals, pressing your pelvis gently into the mat. Extend your arms into a Supergirl. Our swing will be very small. As soon as you start rocking in your hips, it's almost impossible to bring it back to a neutral hip position once you start in there. So, inhale, exhale. Lift your legs and your upper body less than you were earlier. And we're going to inhale and exhale. As one arm goes up, the opposite leg goes up. As one arm goes down, the opposite leg goes down. Squeeze your inner thigh strongly. Reach out long with your hands. Shoulders down your back. Looking down at the mat. My nose is only hovering an inch or two off the mat. Inhale and exhale. One more and exhale. Stop there, still hover. Reach out further in both directions and float everything down. From there, we're going to press back and do just a regular old child's pose. Excellent. We're going to take a few deep breaths here. And from there, we're going to press up into a quadruped position. My wrists are under my shoulders. My knees are under my hips. From there, I'm going to tuck my tailbone and begin to lift and let it travel through my spine until my head lifts. My ribs are still wrapped. I have not flared them. I'm going to squeeze my glutes, tuck my tailbone, coming into an angry cat. And then I'm going to allow the articulation to travel through my spine, looking down through my legs. I'm going to begin to come to neutral, lifting my tailbone first, and allow it to come through to my head. We are allowing our articulation to travel from our tailbone all the way up our body. And one more, tailbone first, and then head. Come to cat, tailbone, and then head. From there, we're going to press back into child's pose. We're going to make this a moving, meditative exercise. If you're unable to do this, please continue with cat-cow. Otherwise, we're going to begin to press up, tucking our tail as we come up. Passing through cow. I'm going to separate my feet as I press down, reaching my hips down first, and curling up into the down stretch position, the typical down stretch position on the reformer. From there, I'm going to begin to lift up, tucking my tail as I come up, coming through angry cat, pressing back, coming back to neutral spine. My head will come back last into child's pose, then press up into child's pose, tucking my tail, allowing, separating my feet, allowing the articulation to travel through my tailbone to the top of my head, ribs still wrapped. Begin to press up, bringing my toes together, tucking my tail first, drawing my abdominals up and in, traveling through cat, and coming back to neutral. Press up. Last one, tuck your tail. Reach out. Allowing my head to come up last. And I'm going to press back, tucking my tail, coming back, and reaching back through to child's pose. One more deep breath here. Walk your fingers back to come up to sitting. Take a deep inhale up. Release it down to your side. Thank you so much for joining me in class today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Have a great day.